Yes! Alright, so another day working on the car. I got my buddy Curtis here again, as you saw just from like that tiny little glimpse of us riding around in his Duster. Anyway, so for today, we flip this around here. We are working on getting the EFI fuel system hooked up. So this is the single line EFI from Holley. You don't have to run a return system to this. You can if you want to, but with this whole system, it's really not needed. So, but it's already hooked up wire-wise. We got the little sock on there, the little hydromat sock. It is internally regulated to I believe it's 58 psi. Yeah, should be 58 psi. But yeah, man. Other than that, we're just gonna look over the instructions real quick as to what it says, and then we'll go ahead and chuck it in the tank. Okay, so we initially were just gonna try to shove the whole sending unit in at once, but then we were like, well, how the heck does the float fit in there at the same time? Because like the crazy angle. But we saw in the directions, and we kind of used a little Google YouTube magic, that the little float, actually, you just unscrew it, shove the sock in first, and then the float will go in, and then you just put the two Phillips screws back in, and you'll be good to go.
Hopefully it works like that. Let's see.
Yeah.
A lot more. I gotta see what's going on. There we go.
Yeah?
Golden.
Oh, dude, golden, pony boy.
Cool. Let's put these two screws in.
You like my new fancy rear end, dude?
Yeah, this thing's looking nice.
Dude, super rad. I can't wait to try out the frickin' helical sure grip action. Should be so nice.
With the street tires, you'll be testing it out.
Yeah, that's the thing, dude. So he's got well, what kind of tires are they? They're Nitto what?
NT 555R. They're a drag radial.
Yeah. Okay, so we went for a test drive, and that thing freaking rips. It's unreal.
It's fun.
Yeah. But also like the grip that those tires have is astounding. Like we didn't break them loose once.
No clutch dumping. There's no clutch. It's just going for the quick little rip. I haven't really done any burnouts on those tires, honestly.
That video of you doing the donuts in like that business complex park, that was just like on a street tire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was getting rid of those tires, making room for these ones.
Oh, so also I'll just plug this right here. So Kurt here has a YouTube that I'll link right here, and he goes over his entire build for Gen 3 Hemi swapping an A body. So he's got that 70 Duster, 70
Yep,
or 71? 70. Yeah, so he's got that 70 Duster. He did a 6.4 swap in with a T56 manual. But yeah, you can go subscribe to his YouTube and check out that whole build. But yeah, that thing is wild, man. Does it have a new ring?
Yeah, it had a new one.
Okay.
Because Holley hooked it up with everything, all the hardware.
Yep. Holley is so amazing, dude. And I'm not even saying that just because, like, you know, of like my partnership with them, but I mean, dude, you were saying when you were doing your swap like 2 years ago, right? I mean, they had nothing out. And then all of a sudden, you know, like Holley got in the game of the Gen 3 Hemi swap stuff, and now they've got they've had like their little issues and their bugs and stuff that they've worked out, and then there's a couple more that they are working out. But dude, for the most part, Holley is freaking doing amazing things for the Gen 3 Hemi swap world. I mean, they're trying to make it as easy as doing an LS swap.
And if you could run that Terminator with the Hemi, here's all the boost.
Yep.
Get ready for the boost.
Yep. Okay, so had to fight that little ring a little bit, but yeah, that's all installed, ready to go. And then we're gonna do some wiring and get that sending unit all plugged in, ready to go, man. Oh, and also we're gonna get my fuel line that I bought, and we're gonna run the fuel line pretty much in this factory location. And then I think I'm gonna install my fuel pump somewhere like along like the frame here. We'll figure out a spot, but yeah, so we'll get the fuel lines made, the hard line made, and then mount the fuel pump. Sorry, yeah, thank you. Filter along the frame here, and then run the rest of the hard line all the way up to the front, and then up, and then that should be just a small little, probably 6-7 inches of the PTFE hose that will plug into the fuel rail. So let's do that. Yo, what's up, dudes? Welcome back to the channel. I got a couple of my buddies here. So this is Ricky Sargent, and this is Justin Listman. I used to work with Justin over at Toyota, and then Ricky here is in the Air Force, and because I work for Beale Air Force Base, I have to go over, and he works in the bomb dump, so I have to go over and fix forklifts that, you know, get stuck, that have bombs that get stuck in the air, so that's fun. But anyway, so I'm having like a mechanic party. These two are the ones that have showed up earlier so far. Should be a few more people coming out today, but yeah, this is what we got going on. Where's the list? Okay, here's the list. It's quite it's quite a big list, but with a lot of us here, I think we can get most of this done. So intake is on. We just got done torquing this thing on here. It gets torqued down from the inside out, and it is 124 inch-pounds, in case anyone wants to know. So you just
cross that off.
Cross that off. That's good to go. I'd say the next thing we should probably start on, I'm working on my my bracket assembly that I'm making for my drive-by-wire pedal and getting that mounted up. And then I'm also going to be, it is a crazy mess over here, but it's organized chaos. So, but anyway, so I'm going to be working on getting this drive-by-wire pedal hooked up to my bracket that I have made right here. So what I did was I just cut the head off these bolts, and then I drilled a small hole in the back, and I tacked them in, so that way I didn't have welding slag in the front, right? So I did all that last night till like 2 o'clock in the morning. So it fits on there quite nicely, but the problem is that the small tack that gets held on the bottom, it didn't hold very well, and this this one just came flying off as soon as when I torqued it down onto the pedal, within like 30 seconds of me just like holding the pedal up on the firewall to see where it goes. This one went bing and shot off. So I ground all this down. I'm going to re-weld it, and then I'm gonna weld the base. And the reason why I didn't do that in the first place is because obviously you can see that this thing sits pretty flat on this plate. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to weld around the base of the studs here onto this plate, and then I'm gonna stick this old nut I have that'll have plenty of space around it. It'll create like a little space, because I do need this a little further from the ground, because when I go full throttle with it just sitting on this plate, it does hit the bottom. And the reason why I'm running this plate in the first place is because on my firewall, like, it comes down straight, and then there's like a piece that gets angled this way, and then it gets angled again, and then it comes down to the floor. So yeah, it's like straight, slight angle, another slight angle, and then down to the floor. So I can't bolt this straight up like that, because it'll sit all cockeyed. So I have to make this bracket. So again, what I'm just gonna do, I'm just gonna weld all these, just tack them around here, so that they are way stronger than just the one tack on the bottom. And then I'll stick these over that, create a spacer on all three corners, and then bolt them down. And I think that should be good to go. So that's what I'm working on right now. Okay, so progress. I have finished the brake pedal, wow, the accelerator pedal bracket. So What I'm going to do now, and also I completely welded the nuts to, the studs to the sheet metal, and then welded the nuts to the bottom to create like a permanent spacer. I just didn't weld that one, but not a big deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a flap disc because the grinder was just, just kind of leaving thin little skids everywhere. So I'll get the flap disc. I'll clean off that whole area underneath, and then I'll be able to tack this in several spots to the firewall. But these guys over here, brake lines are done, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
Don't look at it.
Don't look at them. They're there.
Yes, it has brake lines, and we checked the fittings as per the list.
They are functional. So to be fair, this whole system was like 6 inches further back when I didn't run the hydro boost, and all these lines were like perfectly made, like up and over, and they were really clean. But because this is sitting so much further forward now, these guys had to take these small little lines off, rebend them in a way it don't look pretty, but for right now, just to get me back on the road, this will be fine. And then later on, I'll come back in here. I don't know, maybe like at some point in the future, we'll come back and...
It should work. In theory, it's going to work. On paper, it looks great.
In theory.
Functionality, you don't need rear brakes, right? As long as you got fronts.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
You don't want to, lock up the rears when we try to do a burnout. So.
I'm good with in theory stuff, so that works. But yeah, so these guys kicked ass. All the brake lines are hooked up, and previously I had already done all the brake lines in the rear on going across the axle and stuff like that. So that's all good to go. It's all tied in. Wait. Ooh. Oh baby!
Boom.
What's next?
Radiator with fan.
We can actually pick and choose, and it doesn't have to go in order. I just kind of like wrote guys down.
Suspension?
Well,
we can't do disc brakes till we put suspension on.
Right, so...
Unless you just want to have calipers hanging up, doing nothing in the front.
Right.
Should we do the battery ground? That'd be easy.
Yeah, we can do the battery ground. I'll need to find a bolt that's long enough so we can go through the frame rail. But let's see.
We're waiting on parts for the fuel line, right?
Yeah. So
we could do power steering.
Well, I can go to Rebus and I can get a tube cutter, and we can cut that tube off, flare it with the other little piece that's on there, and then we can actually attach that fuel hose over there. But we just got to secure it to the firewall in a good location.
Doing something. Do something like that. Put one of those little self-tapper ones that we have.
Yeah, we would just need to, bend the fuel line over to wherever it needs to go.
We've been doing so good with bending so far.
Yeah, you guys are the benders. The benders.
My name's Bender, and I bend girders.
So the wiring, that's the main power cable. That's got to get placed behind the engine, and then it goes
touching the header.
Right, not touching the header. Got to hook it up to the starter. So need to remedy that situation, and then just like the fuel line, just getting mounted up against the firewall. Preferably, what I want to kind of do is have it 90, and then kind of come up again.
So 90.
Yeah, so 90 this way, 90 that way, and then that way this will be pretty much right there. It'll just get tucked on the sidewall. So the only reason why I want to go a 90 and a 90 is just to clear the two holes where the heater hoses would go. So I'm not running a heater core in the car right now, just because the one I have is really, really bad. So I'm just gonna run it like heater delete for right now. I've already got the heater core lines in the back looped over, so I'm just gonna 90 it, and that way when I do go to put heater hoses back in, fuel line won't be in the way.
It's in California. The state's always on fire. You don't need a heater. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, but in the wintertime it is frigid here.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We have marked off 3 objects on this list, and you have yet to mark off 1.
Hey, I haven't been marking anything off because I've been fabbing, homeboy.
Just take a
That's
while.
fab.
Does frickin' dude, that frickin' took forever. So I'm getting ready to frickin' to weld that to the firewall, and then I'm gonna make the mount for the computer behind the glove box. But so yeah, negative cable is done. Brake lines and the fittings are done. Intake is done.
All the front pressure.
Yeah, so we can. Let's see.
We're stuck with waiting for the flare for the fuel lines, right? And then we need that
Yeah.
part for it.
Yeah,
You know, take a trip to Reedy's.
And
yeah,
then-
we can. Yeah, we can make multiple trips to Rebus if we want. So I'm working on accelerator pedal. What are we gonna? Oh, the radiator. Yeah, we can do the radiator right now too. But yeah, drive shaft is over there, right there, and it is painted, ready to go. Painted, ready to go. So we can put that in.
You got the bolts for it?
Yeah, yeah. So these are like a crazy. They're like a U-bolt style. So there is no like, there's no little cap and bolt. It's just like a little U-bolt that goes over it and snugs right up against these big boys. So this is, I think it's a 1350 Spicer U-joint. So it is one of the bigger ones. So we'll just grab the U-bolt that goes over this, and then we'll attach it to the rear end. Yeah.
So, yeah, it only attaches on these 2 ends, huh?
Yeah, I'll show you. So yeah, U-bolts just like this, and then they'll kind of sit on there just like that, and then these will bolt directly into the rear end with, or like the yoke with these nuts there.
So you'll lock this first.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Let's go.
I'm not sure if we need to lift the rear end up at all. I've had the drive shaft on there before just to check fitment, and it worked out pretty good. So I like your that's some good form.
Good form.
Nice. Hey, move your fat body. Okay, so got all that ground off. I'm gonna go ahead and tack this sucker in, and I was already in here just checking the fitment of where I want the pedal, and slightly over to the right is the best position. So again, I'm gonna tack this up there, make sure everything's good to go, and then I'll fully spot weld it in. Okay, it is now day 2. I got Ricky and Justin back over, and we have knocked out a whole bunch of stuff. Let me just let me see where I can start and show you some stuff that we've got knocked out. We have been working like freaking dogs. Okay, so this is what we got going on. The front suspension is basically done. We just gotta tighten up this side, and then once the car has tension on it on the ground, then we can flip the flip the front sway bar around, because in the directions from QA1 it says that this sway bar can't be mounted until there's tension on there, because the threads just won't go through. So suspension is pretty much done. I still need to figure out the radiator hose situation. It's just this hose that I got from Reeby's, I mean, is pretty close, but it's not correct. This size, or this port on the radiator is a smidge smaller than this side, but the one down there is the same size of all these. So for some reason, only this top one is smaller. So maybe I'll have to get like a double-sized radiator hose that'll work. But yeah, so radiator hoses are getting figured out. Fan shroud is on. Fan is on. I think I still need to tighten these up. Yeah, I do. So that's good to go. I got my 6AN, correct 6AN to 3/8 barb on there, so I'll hook up all the low pressure lines, hook them to the pump. Yeah, suspension again on this side is done. I just need to hook up my brake caliper on here. But yeah, these are my new Willwood disc brakes. They're more of a solid rotor. Because before, like I said, I had the drilled and slotted, but no more drilled. These are just slight slotted and a thicker rotor, so it'll allow more braking for a lot longer and be able to handle the weight of the car. Even though it's not going to be too crazy heavy, but these are going to be correct. So, but yeah, so then fluids needs to happen. The rear suspension is hooked up, ready to go with the QA1 shocks. And now these guys are test fitting the exhaust. And how's it looking, actually?
Tubular.
So stupid. Okay, so the exhaust.
You knew what you were getting into when you called me over here.
Gosh, the exhaust is looking pretty tubular. Tubular, dude. Gosh, it fits up here so freaking nice, dude. Look at that.
Where did this come from?
Look at this magnanimity. So
Okay,
awesome.
something's missing a washer because the one just fell out of my shirt.
What?
A washer?
I'm trying to locate where.
Oh, there it is.
Where?
Right here.
Oh.
This will go.
Hey, Justin, you're missing washers on that guy right there.
No, it isn't. It's in my hand. On that guy right there.
So,
Sucker Bryce.
all right. So, Ricky, how do those muffs look?
Real nice.
Pretty nice muffs.
Yeah, these are good muffs.
Yeah. Dude, this whole Hooker Blackheart exhaust system is freaking amazing.
These Hooker muffs look so good.
Yeah, these Hooker muffs are
They're brand new, so it's a fresh Hooker. You know?
pretty fantastic. Yes, the Hooker exhaust memes, puns just keep flowing out of Justin.
Actually, it might be easier if we attach it to the muffler itself.
Yep.
I just. Oh, it might. Yep.
Oh, what was that? I was gonna say. I was like, I feel like it. Like before, we had this tube over there and this one over here, and we didn't realize, but there is an actual left and or right side. But if I had looked at it long enough, I could have said, because obviously this header sits a little bit further back, so this tube has to be longer. But yeah, now that that's hooked up in there,
I need a
freaking fits in there perfectly. H pipe is looking amazing, and then
I need it.
and then we can secure those muffs.
All right, Bryce, what are we doing?
About to put the freaking wheels and tires down on the ground for the first time since what? I don't know, like last October. So
First time for the last time, or?
well, hopefully. I don't know if it will have to get jacked back up again. But woof!
Look.
Boys, down.
Jack is down. Go over here. See what are we looking at? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, bud.
Wow, that's pretty beefy.
Oh yeah, bud.
Is it supposed to? I feel like it should sit lower than that. That's all the way down in the rear, huh? Wow.
You got some pretty beefy suspension, though.
Those shocks are unreal.
Here. They might settle down too. If you bounce it.
Dude, that rear end is like way up there. Wow, these wheels are disgusting.
It's thick. Got a thick rear end, Bryce.
Always have.
Always have.
My dad's got a thick rear end.
Always will.
Okay. It'd be kind of cool to get the fronts freaking set down too without crushing a bunch of stuff.
Hey, the fronts are down. It's just the wheel just crushed the box that I was sitting on. It's okay.
That's cool. Look at that.
You're down.
But I am curious though. It's like, why is the suspension sitting up? I mean, look at that. That's like. It's pretty high up. I was expecting it to squat a hell of a lot more. Maybe the shocks Need to get. But you said they're adjusted all the way out, right?
Yeah, they're all the way down.
And if you have all the weight kind of shift towards the back here.
But that's a crazy gap. I was expecting it to sit a heck of a lot lower. What's different? What's different? Nothing else, right? Like it's not. Like nothing's binding anywhere, right? Like nothing's.
Maybe all that tension off the rear leaves kind of freed them up a little bit.
I don't think so. Because yeah, that's sitting pretty high.
If to do a burnout, maybe it'll squat.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Guess we'll have to figure that out. Okay, it is a crazy mess underneath there, but it's mostly empty boxes and other crap. But yeah, so that's gonna get put together. Justin's got to take off. Freaking crushing it today, dude. I really appreciate all the help you.
Surprisingly, nobody's fingers. Didn't crush any fingers today.
No, I didn't crush any fingers, but I did burn mine yesterday. Look at that. That's gonna be a nice, a nice puffy. Ooh, yeah, it already feels good.
That's mine too.
But yeah, it's a total mess down here. But when we're all three, so we actually ran into a problem. The whole suspension was pretty much freaking together, and then torqued everything, and then freaking debacle. We forgot to put the torsion bar adjuster block and bolt through, so we had to take the whole suspension and torsion bars out again, so that way we can get the block in, the bolt goes through, and then the torsion bar adjusted and clocked to the right spot. And then torque them back up. Freaking annoying. So annoying. That killed so much time, but
we did it a lot faster the second time, that's for sure.
yeah. Yeah, so
Ideally, we didn't have to do it a second time, but
yeah, so it's
part of the fun.
Yeah, so it's good to go now, but so I'm gonna get the brake caliper put on. Yes. I posted this to my story on Instagram and someone's out there like, please freaking keep that on there. That's hilarious. I'm like, all right. I guess it's kind of fitting because of the stupid virus. But
the Coronet
this thing is pretty much my virus now. I've got the the Coronet owner's virus. So that's
unfortunately there's no vaccine yet.
Yeah, that is quite fitting. So thanks for that.
440 days of quarantine. So long it's going to take you to finish this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that might be actually pretty accurate.
Actually, that is.
You're going to do the math on that?
I'm going to check that.
So from last March till now is how many days? But yeah, so wiring's got to get figured out. This is the power and ignition wire, so that can get bolted to the starter.
Since March 13th, 2020 is 542 days.
Oh, wow.
Oh, over.
Only missed it by 100.
Pretty close, yeah.
But I got to deal with all this in here. That's a little overwhelming. I freaking hate wiring. But steering column's got to get put back up, and then my switch panel here and stuff. And then I still gotta mount my computer, make a bracket for that, and the fuse block and such. But yeah, so the interior is gonna be the pain in the butt thing to get done. But yeah, freaking sitting down on the rear wheels, these shocks are pretty freaking awesome. You know, I'm wondering if they have to like settle in a little bit. I would imagine so. Yeah, because before, I mean, there was no way it was sitting up that high. Like, I'd have to air up the air shocks pretty high in order to get it to sit like that. But, you know, again, it is also empty fuel tank. But I do have a battery back there, too, so that has to help a little bit. But okay, so it is a few days later. I just got back today, actually. My wife and I flew back in from Southern California. I had to go to my Opa's funeral. For those who don't know, my Opa, which is German for grandpa, He passed away on the 31st of August, or excuse me, June, July. Yeah, July 31st. So, but anyway, so his funeral was yesterday. So we flew down, did the funeral, and then flew back up, and then started jamming on the car again. So there's a lot that's happened. Check this out. Okay, so Rodell is over here. Jesse is under the car doing Jesse's things.
Hello.
But dude, we've got power yet.
Yeah, so we got power inside the car. We got battery right now. We're just running interior car lighting. So we turn our headlights switch on.
Let me go up front.
Get you up front.
Let me go up front. Oh.
Bring the park lights on.
Okay, go ahead for park lights. Yep, park lights are on.
Headlights on.
Boom. Yes.
High, low beam.
Yep, low beam.
Got a little bit we gotta do.
Yeah, so the high beam on that headlight for some reason isn't working.
Yes.
But the
That's one that's pulled apart.
that's the one that's pulled apart. Okay, yeah. So he was putting some wires in and pulled a little hard, and then I guess one of the terminals on the high beam side for that headlight pulled out. But not a big deal. We can just solder that back together. Yeah.
Solder together and we'll be back at it.
But dude, check it. Freaking headlights. What about taillights? Should those?
Lights should be on. We're missing one bulb on the passenger side, but if you go back there, you should see some tail lights.
Okay, let's check that out. Yeah, side markers.
Side markers. That's the one working. We're missing a bulb on this driver.
Oh,
side.
that's right, because it burnt out. Okay, so I'll get a bulb for that. Okay, yep.
And I'm not sure if we're gonna have blinkers because we probably don't have 12 volts going through the system with the key off. But let me try the key. We can start playing with the rest of this stuff and knocking it out.
Okay.
So let's
Sweet,
see
dude.
what the key does for it. You know what? Are you able to pull this hood up a little? Because I don't want the wipers to come on and bang. Screw them up and sliding back a little. We can test the wipers as well.
Yeah, I mean, I can just hold the I can just hold the hood. Yeah, for a second. Just let me know when you're gonna do it, though.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna check in with. All right, and Jesse, what's happening down there?
We're installing the hangers to get this exhaust up and not flopping. Get it all secure, and then hopefully we can fire this thing up and hear it roar.
Yeah, dude, that'd be cool. So, before I left for the funeral, obviously me and the guys, we got the whole exhaust system on, but we ran into that snag with the hanger situation, and then I had to fly down to Southern California. But
We got it figured out.
you did?
Yeah.
Because the brackets just they just looked weird, but.
Yeah, when you look at the directions, it explains it pretty good. You got to look at the pictures.
See, okay, that was my problem. I wasn't looking at pictures. I was just, we'll just chuck this up there.
Yeah. You got to read the words and look at the pictures.
Words.
Words.
Yep. All right, dude. Sweet. Okay, and then in the engine compartment itself, coils are hooked up, injectors are hooked up, most of the sensors are hooked up. I still gotta hook up the low side of the power steering, and I haven't done that yet because I think I'm gonna run a cooler, but I'm not 100% sure on that yet. But air intake is on. So I ran into an issue where I ordered the wrong freaking this guy. So this is your air intake temp sensor, right? And this said, I ordered it from Summit, and it said that this was a factory Mopar replacement part, and it is. But the thing that I didn't think about was this engine is from a 2007, and I thought that the Terminator X kit from Holley would have just been, like modern Hemi stuff, but there is a difference between the pre-2013 non-VVT engines and the VVT style engines from 2013 and up, and I didn't think about that. So I ordered this for like a 2016 Challenger or something like that. But on my old harness for this engine, it came with that air intake temp sensor, but it's broken at the end. So where'd that little guy go? Yeah. So this whole plastic little tip has been broken off, but there's still like the little diode that's connected at the end. So I think just for running purposes, it should be okay. But I called a local dealership, Dodge dealership, not where I live, but then like a couple towns down, and they actually they have one. So I had them put that off to the side for me and will call. So I'll go pick that up tomorrow. But I think just for running purposes, I don't see why that can't, at least sense the pickup here. But anyway, front suspension, Willwood disc brakes are on. The only thing you got to do is once the car is back down on its wheels, you can install the front sway bar here, and that's what the instructions from QA1 say, that you can't install that until there's weight on the front end, because it like, I guess like the bolt isn't long enough, or you're not strong enough to compress the suspension a little bit so you can get those these guys here to thread on. So suspension's got to be down, weight on the car, and then you can thread those two together. Should be pretty good. But anyway, so we're gonna get back to work. I don't know if I've shown you everything on the inside. Oh, I didn't. So I went ahead and made a bracket to mount the Holley Terminator X. I just got two little pieces of some straight metal. Wow, it is a crazy, you know what, never mind. So I just got two little pieces of straight metal, welded that all the way down this 16 gauge sheet metal plate. I drilled it underneath and just bolted it through. Just a simple little design there, and it works pretty good. The Holley harness is completely plugged in, and now once we get the wiring tucked up where it's just gonna go for right now, and I'll see where this wants to lie naturally, and then I'll attach that to the car. But other than that, we've got power to the ignition.
Yes.
I believe so, yeah?
Oh yeah. As I just had the blinkers working in the front.
Is it me, or is the steering column like sitting in way too much?
Shoot. Well, hell. Is it?
Oh, never mind. No.
Oh.
I didn't realize this was loose. I was like, dude, why does that ignition like so? Yeah. Okay. I'm an idiot.
We're good.
Also, coolest sticker ever. I freaking love that sticker because it's so true. But anyway, yeah, so everything in here is looking pretty good, yeah?
Yeah, it's all coming together. Now we just need to make it look perfect. Instead of we gotta nest the wire, we'll start trimming everything up now that I know things work like they're supposed to, and we'll start tucking it in.
Dude, cool. Pretty stoked. So, but yeah, so we're gonna get back to work. I have the little shifter boot plate ordered, or not ordered. I did have it ordered, and it is here. So now I just need to install the thing. So it's like this whole shifter plate boot thing that the shifter gets sealed off from the like basically from the road, and then there's the other little shifter boot that will go over that seals the shifter from the cab and stuff in here. So one boot to seal the actual shifter itself, and then the other to seal the rest of it from the inside of the car. So we'll go ahead and get that installed as well. All this wiring is gonna just get set in its place, and then we'll run it to the back, get it all tucked in out of the way where it needs to go. I'll try to get some wire loom, but for right now it might not happen. I might just be running the wires with no loom, which is kind of sketch, but in order just to make it to Holley Mo Party, that might just have to happen that way. But I don't know. We'll
see what happens.
We'll see what happens, man. Oh, here's my flesh cuts. There we go.
Yeah,
I was looking for those. Anyway, all right, we're gonna get back to work, guys. So, yeah.
Cool. Let's do it.
You'll see it here in a second.
Give a good time.
Oh, I got your good side. Okay, so we are getting really, really close. The electrical wizard has made power in here. I believe so. Oh. Look at that. Bam, dude.
Terminator, it goes.
Sweet. That's pretty rad.
This time, let's see if it's gonna set up. There we go. Now it's registering. So now we can start doing the wizard to run it through the motor. So what we got here, multi-port, TBI, direct inject.
Multi-port?
It's gotta be multi-port.
I would say it's multi-port.
All right, let's hit next.
Multi-port.
Oh, here we go. So we ran a Gen 3 Hemi.
Yep.
Next. Ooh, I put you on that Mustang, man. You ain't got a little stylus in there, do you? My fingers are doing weird stuff.
actually. Here you are, fancy fingers.
A little easier. All right. It only gave me this option for 8 cylinders, so we know that's what we got. Next. And at the firing order, I know nothing about Mopar, but it's telling me 184365572.
Yeah.
All right. Next. Cubic inch or liters.
6.1 liters, and I
Alright.
believe that should be 370 cubic inches.
So let's go with liters. We know you got 6.1.
Yep.
Next. Target idle range on startup.
Let's just say 800.
Okay, camshaft specs. Give me 3 options here. You know what you got in there by chance?
I don't, but I can look it up real quick.
Okay, so we go with that. It's probably stock, medium, wild. That's what we're looking at.
I know it's a stock cam.
So that I don't know. We can adjust this later.
Okay.
Get back in there. We'll run that one. All right. So now we got some options.
You know, the whole engine's stock, essentially, except for, you know, the headers.
So Gen 3 Hemi 36 minus 2 2+2 wet spark coils. 36 2+2 COP. 60-2 non-VVT and 60-2 VVT.
It is non-VVT.
Non-VVT. Fuel pressure 43 or 60.
60.
And we're running injectors, Sniper, Holly, Excel, OEM, other. I think these are OEMs, right?
These are OEM injectors, yeah.
All right. Mopar Hemi 3 injectors now have a bunch of different numbers. You know what Mopar injectors we have?
I can get you part numbers.
Yeah, see, that's what these numbers match up to.
Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, so the injector number is the 50374 number.
50374 or 37479 Alpha Alpha.
Yep.
Next, power adders. We have none. Next, internal bar map. I'm gonna go with 1 internal.
Yeah, I think it's 1 bar internal.
And it's not Holly. We didn't put any Holly equipment.
No,
in here,
what else
so
is there?
GM part number, Chrysler part number.
Um,
They're all reading 1 bars, except for this Chrysler one.
well, it is a Chrysler. Let me see if I can see a number on the back there too. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, so it is the
Chrysler
number there.
5604 1018.
Yep.
Done.
Boom.
Next, drive-by-wire. Yes.
Absolutely.
Next, Chrysler drive-by-wire.
Yes.
Great.
Well,
Got 2.
Oh. Hey, Jesse, what's the part number on that drive-by wire?
You know I can't see shit. You know it's written right there. It's dark.
What does that say? I've got 04591847.
That's it.
That was it?
Yeah.
Okay, because you totally got
I said
dyslexic and
7.4.
you got all less dyslexic and said it backwards.
Ready? There's
Yeah.
that one. So that's what we got. Next, what else you gonna ask me? Transmission control, no. Next, so it's gonna build us a map now. Start. Error with the system. That's fine. Setup fails, so we're gonna have to go back and see what we're missing out front. Make sure ignition on. Engine is not started. Start. Slowly press pedal to the floor. Wow, is that not successful? Alright, we're gonna have to do some research, figure out what we're missing and where.
Okay, so we're still missing, for some reason there's still an electrical issue where we're missing power, but he seems to think that the engine will just turn over right now. It won't. Oh, dude! Okay. That's a yes.
You gotta figure out why the Terminator Max is not getting a signal.
Yeah, for some reason it's not getting a, like a 12-volt signal to...
Or the 5-volt signal for the TPS or drive-by-wire, so we can set everything initially and build that, what's it, initial startup package for it.
Yeah.
And it's not letting us do any of that, so we can't even initialize the computer so it can start learning.
Interesting. What the heck, man?
Error 105. That's gonna be tomorrow's problem. Today I am burnt.
Yeah.
Well, it's wired.
Dude.
Electrically, I'm done. Deuces.
Beat it.
Alright.
No, dude, I really appreciate your help, man.
The are on you.
Yeah, I still gotta plug in the alternator. Oh, I need to cut that little deal off the old harness and attach it to that guy.
Yep, cut them, put them there, and I'll plug them into it.
Man, that was cool. Actually hearing it turn over, that was pretty rad. But yeah, headlights, turn signals, all that stuff comes on. We actually did figure out the issue with one of the bulbs. It was the high beam was actually just burnt out, but check that out. Look how sinister this thing looks. It's incredible. Yes, so cool. Turn signals. All right, yep. Maybe, yep. Sweet, dude. Awesome. This thing just looks so rad. The dual headlights is just, it's so cool. It's just the coolest thing ever. But yeah, the headlights are like so much brighter because it's actually having good grounds.
Yeah.
And
good grounds throughout the whole car now.
Yeah, and were we...
The horn.
Right. Yeah, the freaking horns are loud, and they didn't used to be. Like, you would, because the grounds were so bad, you would just push and they're like, now they're like, oh, what's up?
I do still have to put that distribution relay in for the headlights so they draw so much amperage it doesn't burn your wire back to your harness.
Yeah.
We'll just do it right out of that.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, Chrysler designed the whole wiring harness system for these cars really badly.
Yeah.
They ran all the power to the switch.
Yes.
And then where did it go from there? Just back to
the light, so that amperage draw is just burning up the weakest link, which is right behind your on-off switch for your lights.
Yeah, which is nuts. And
it looked like it got hot before, so
yeah. So yeah, all that old wiring was just smoked, dude.
Cut it
So
close as I could, plugged into it, and then, like I said, we'll put relays up front to control all that. So the 12 volts will be right there at the relay, which is good for 30 amps. So
yeah.
more burnt wiring.
Yeah, so I actually, I was watching one of Chris Birdsong's videos. If you guys don't know him, you go check out his YouTube channel. Junker Up, Chris Birdsong, anyway. But yeah, so I was watching one of his videos, and he was talking about, you know, the headlights from the factory are like just wired straight to the switch, and over time that just makes the contacts super weak, and then they will just like shut off while you're driving. So what he did was he just ran two relays, one relay to operate low beam, and then the second relay and the first relay will operate the high beams when you switch them on. So it'll be two relays running for both high and low, and then just one relay for the low beams, which is pretty freaking ingenious. So all the load is being taken up in the relays and not in the switch itself. All the switch is doing is just telling the relays, hey, turn on.
There you go.
And that's what it does. Yeah, so these guys right here.
So that big, thick number 10 gauge wire, 30 gauge wire, or 30 amp wire.
Yeah.
So that'll be with your main cable. You're gonna have backside, get grounded, have your power coming in, and then you have your exciter, meaning low beam, high beam, right there. Then those will go out to the lights. Done.
Yeah.
I'll leave that here so they don't get lost in the mix.
Yeah, and then also the reverse lockout switch has been wired up. Rodell also hooked that up, right? So it's just on a switch. So if you guys don't know what the reverse lockout switch is, real briefly. So when you're shifting from, you know, like third to fourth, and you want to go into fifth, well, reverse on a T56 is all the way over and up. Well, so is fifth gear. So if you don't have a reverse lockout switch, then you could accidentally put it into reverse while you're driving, and that would be really, really bad. I mean, who knows if you would actually make it in there, but if you did, kiss that transmission goodbye. So most of the time people will have them set up off of the speed sensors, so that way when the car reads that it's under like 5 miles an hour, then the switch will like it will activate, which will allow you to put it in reverse and do whatever. But because I'm not doing that, I'm running out of time. I just did a manual switch, so that way if I need to go into reverse, I just turn the switch on, I can put it in reverse, back up, and then I'll turn it off, and then I can drive forward, and it will lock out reverse, so I don't accidentally put it in there. Be pretty rad. And Jesse kicked some serious booty today. Exhaust is on.
Exhaust is on.
The front suspension is
on and
yeah.
torqued. A couple things just need to be torqued up after we get it on the ground.
Right.
Ride height adjusted. The power steering is hooked up.
Oh yeah, and
Power steering cooler.
And the cooler. There's the cooler down there, and it just runs up. So I'm also running the Hydro Boost system, as you guys have seen, right? So it's got 2 high pressure lines and then the low pressure. So normally, without running like a cooler, the low pressure line would come out, it would tee off, you just go right to the pump, and then right to the steering gear, and then this would come up to the pump. But because we're running the cooler, this comes down to it, tees off, goes out to the cooler, comes back, and then goes to the pump, and then the other one just, you know, it just runs down to the steering box. But we're having some sort of, whoa, I almost fell over. We're having some crazy issue with the front steering, where it's binding big time. Like you try to turn this thing by hand, and it's like you can audibly hear something is just grinding.
Yeah, we're gonna have to unhook the steering column, and then see if it does it without the steering column hooked up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a freaking total bummer that's happening, but yeah, because it's definitely undrivable like that. There's no way. They would put way too much strain on the steering gear. So yeah, like you said, tomorrow we'll undo that, try to figure out where it's binding. And I think part of the problem where it is binding is over here. Maybe you can see it. I'll try to get the camera over there. But like you can see, you're like right there, that metal sleeve is making contact with the steering shaft itself. So I don't know if that's that's definitely part of the problem. So maybe there's a way to make the steering column go that way and up just a hair more. I don't know. You out of here, dude? Dude, you kicked ass today. I really freaking appreciate it.
Not a problem.
The wiring wizard.
I tried to get it fired up, but man, it didn't want to let it go.
Yeah, that freaking pedal issue was kind of crazy, dude.
Let it go, so I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's another day.
But look how good it looks. It's almost done, dude. Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, we'll get it figured out, man.
Yeah.
It's almost there. Oh, the radiator hose situation, if I hadn't explained that already. Trying to find radiator hoses for a Gen 3 Hemi swap with a radiator that's got a smaller port here than it does on the bottom, with ports on the same size, or on the same side, is hard to find hoses that match up. So I just went to my local Reeby's Auto Parts and just got some flex hoses. This is a smaller diameter here than it is there, and it works. It's just super long and ridiculous, and if this were to be bent anymore, then it would start to kink pretty badly, but that's good to go. I mean, it'll work for now. I'm really not worried about it. And then same thing down here, like this flex hose is just a little too long, but it is working. It's resting. It's definitely resting a lot on the oil filter, which is fine. I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, if this was like this much shorter, it would just come down, come out nicely, and then right into here. But because it's too long, it's coming down flat up against the oil filter, and then goes in. But hey, I ain't worried about it. It looks like Rodell cut the Holley cam position sensor off because for some reason the whole harness is set up correctly for this engine. Like, this is a 2007, so the whole harness is like 98% correct for this, but we found two sensors that weren't right at all. One of them was the cam position sensor, and then the other one on the other side is the coolant temp sensor. So what we did was we just cut the cam sensor off the Holley, and then just, as you can see, just made some connectors and plugged in the old factory plug there. So that's good to go. And then we'll have to probably do the same thing for that one right there. Or maybe if I go down to Dodge, maybe I can see if they've got like a 2016, 17, 18 coolant temp sensor, and I could probably run that in, because I think the Holley harness will plug into that, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's all for tonight. We'll pick back up tomorrow, and I think tomorrow is the last day, like absolute last day. And then Monday, I need to have this thing taken to the alignment shop, and then after it's aligned, then I'm hitting the road. Like, literally. I got my hair is out of control, so just ignore that. But Monday, alignment shop, and then it's hit the road for Holley Mow Party. It starts Friday the 17th and goes to the 19th, and it's going to take me, I'm going to guess, like 3 days to get out there. So tomorrow is the absolute like deadline. Have to get shies done tomorrow. So I'm going to finish doing a lot of stuff tonight. I'm going to drill the holes out in my seats, or drill the holes out for my seats in the floor, and then I've got like this little shifter boot thing that we ordered wherever it went. So there's this part of it, and then the other part of it went right here. Yeah, so it comes like with this template, and I guess you got to like cut this inner circle out, and then this will seat around the actual shifter housing, and then that attaches to the floor. The carpet goes over that, and then this will go over the actual shift knob right here, and we'll seal up against the, yeah, so there's the shifter itself. This is a Pro 5.0 shifter. So that's what they said to do, right? Cut this out?
Yeah, you cut it out right here at this ridge, and then you stretch it over this gold part so it clamps underneath here.
Right.
And then it'll seal from underneath here to the floor, so you won't get any air or anything coming up from underneath the car.
Right. That's fine. But anyway, we'll pick back up tomorrow morning, afternoon time frame. See you then. All right, I'm going to cut the video off here. It's been 59 minutes, basically an hour-long video. There was a lot we needed to show in there, but anyway, I'm going to cut it off here. The next video I'm going to upload right after this one, and trust me, there's going to be some very exciting action that happens. So stick around for that. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe, share with your friends, get the little bell on, and dudes, we will see you next time.
Our story is a strange one, like a work of science fiction. People, they come and go.